Hey everyone, Lisa Salvatore here with the Astro Energy Report for the week ahead, February 20th through February 27th. We are now officially under Pisces season as of the 18th of February, so happy birthday to all of our Pisces souls of the zodiac. It is your season. Pisces season always brings in with it an element of sensitivity, compassion, faith, hope, possibility. The shadow side to Pisces energy is that we can be a little too dreamy. We can go off on whims of fancy. We can be fantasizing a bit too much, and we can tend more toward escapist vices that help us to numb out, quote unquote. And, also, Pisces is the sign of spirituality and of the divine, so we could be numbing out that way, which is not necessarily a negative thing, but we have to make sure to keep our feet planted on the ground so that we don't lose track of reality. Speaking of reality, we're still coming off of the full moon in Leo, which definitely produced a lot of energy within the body, within the heart. So I hope everyone is feeling okay. Just know that if you were super exhausted or super wired or vacillating between the two, ringing of the ears, dizziness, heart palpitations, trouble sleeping, all of this fell under that Leo full moon energy. You can still be experiencing some of it. Of course, providing that everything's okay with you, it's likely the energy. Ground yourself, drink more water, do your meditations, do what you need to do and go where you need to go to keep yourself up and to keep yourself straight. Today, the 20th, the moon is currently in the sign of Libra, making a supportive trine to Saturn in Aquarius. And then it's also squaring off with Venus, Mars, and Pluto. So again, there's this feeling of trying to keep everything balanced, trying to keep everything in harmony, but yet there's an intensity underneath the surface. There's a heat underneath the surface that is bringing things up to poke at us and remind us of what really is bothering us that may or may not be able to keep us in balance. And then tomorrow on the 21st, that moon is going to move into Scorpio, which further serves to intensify this energy of probing intensity and of what's bothering us. Now, this moon in Scorpio is also going to square off with Mercury in Aquarius, so let's be mindful that our words carry a lot of power and have the ability to cut. And under this energy, it will be easier to get upset based off something somebody else says to you. This is a good day for journaling and psychoanalyzation of why we are the way we are and why we think certain things are bothering us, and to the extent that they may come up and appear to bother us. And again, this is going to feel different for everybody, but overall, this is the energy. Then on the 22nd, 22222, first and foremost, we are experiencing the Pluto return, which is basically the transformation of our nation. We have not seen Pluto back to this position. Well, Pluto is coming back to the exact degree, the exact placement that it was back on July 4th, 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was signed. So we are having our Pluto return for the United States. And this is something that we've not ever seen before, clearly, and we'll never see again. This is a big deal. This is about power dynamics. This is about exposing. This is about transformation. This is about the government. This is about personal. This is about world finances, as it takes place in the second house of the world finances. This is about going from the industrial times to the digital times as we move from Pluto in Capricorn into Pluto in Aquarius. So this is a big deal. So there's a big energy surrounding this time period. And is it a coincidence that it falls on 22222? I don't know. But let's remain hopeful, because that's what these numbers speak to us. We're under Pisces season. Jupiter's in Pisces. So there's this element of faith, hope, possibility, by connecting to the divine, by staying in our spiritual center, by remaining in a space of compassion, no matter what's getting tossed up and thrown out and thrown around on the world stage, because that will also be intense and increasing. It has been since Pluto entered Capricorn in 2008. So there's been this breakdown that's been happening, and Pluto moves so slowly. So it's been a slow breakdown of the systems, with the ultimate end game to break us down far enough to bring us back up, higher than we've ever been before. But it is not going to be without this process of complete and total detonation. And I don't mean that literally. But of course, in order to get us there, we have to go to the bottom. And I feel like we're there. So let's remember that 22222 is all about keeping the faith, keeping balance, and remaining hopeful, and trusting in the possibility and the power of positive energy. Now, on the same day, the moon is going to oppose Uranus, which can definitely bring in emotional fireworks of some kind or emotional information that could go either way, right? Because it's Uranus, so we don't know what we're going to get. And this is on the day of the Pluto return. So again, not everything happens on that day. It's an influence. So we may hear some things that we don't necessarily like, or maybe we do like them and they put us on a different pathway. The moon will also be squaring off with Saturn, which intensifies this energy. It's trining Jupiter. So again, this could be hopeful and expansive. And it's also making a helpful aspect with both Venus and Mars in Capricorn. And a trine to Neptune in Pisces. So there's still this, even though there's a lot going on, there's an element of hope and faith and possibility. And let's keep sight of that as we move on throughout this week. Now, on the 23rd, Jupiter is going to come up into an alignment with Pluto, a semi-square. So this is not really a very strong aspect, but I am going to include it because it is going to be felt in light of everything else that's going on. And so again, Jupiter expands everything. So this makes us very focused and very determined about what we want and how we're going to go about getting it. And there's this energy of, I'm not stopping until I get what I want. And this can be a really good thing, that dogged determination. But when we're dealing with a semi-square to Pluto, the planet of power and transformation, also success, we want to make sure that we don't overdo it, which is an influence of these planets when they line up like this. The moon is still in Scorpio at this point, which is serving up even more on the emotional, intense level, and it's going to be making an aspect with both Venus and Mars. Now we know Scorpio is a very intense, emotional, intuitive water sign that does bring things up for us to brood over. So that moon's got to give us that one last jolt of intensity, that moon in Scorpio, right before it shifts into Sagittarius around like 5:30 p.m. And then on the 24th, Venus and Mars, both in Capricorn, are going to line up with Neptune in Pisces. And this can be really nice for all of our connections and projects and anything that we're really working on that is in our heart space, that is passionate for us, that we have a lot of passion toward. And focused tenacity. It's something that we desire. It's something that we want. It's something that we're proud of. And lining up with Neptune, this brings in doing things maybe a different way, making them more cohesive for all involved, or if it's a project, making that work better for you. Just an overall calming, nice, supportive, sweet energy. Also with an increase in intuition as well. With Capricorn, there's always a higher place for logic, but with Pisces, there's a higher place for intuition. So this is a nice blend, a nice balance of the two that does serve to bring in positive conclusions to situations and relationships by utilizing both ends. And then later on that evening, around 10 p.m., a little bit before, Mercury is going to square off with Uranus. And this always shakes things up and in some way makes a big, bold statement. And, Mercury in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus, these are two signs that are fixed energy, very determined to do things and go about things their own way. And they're lining up by a frictional aspect. Mercury rules over the way that we communicate and the way that we perceive information, and also our lower mind, where Uranus is our higher mind. It's the God mind. That's Uranus. And so Uranus brings in all these zany ideas, and coming up into a frictional aspect with Mercury, again, this could just serve to shake things up. Now, this could course correct us into doing things a totally different way that's much more beneficial, especially when we're looking at the aspects earlier on with Venus, Mars, and Neptune. So this could be very beneficial, but it could also be very jolting. Now, Mercury is also going to be back at the same degree, at the same space that he was on January 14th when Mercury first stationed retrograde. So again, there could be some kind of a conclusion to something that's been a question that's been plaguing you since that time. So if you can think back to where you were, January 14th, what was going on for you involving what were you thinking about? What were you processing that you just couldn't figure out? You were spinning your wheels. Now, under this Mercury-Uranus alignment, you could get that, I got it finally. Maybe information comes into you through an unexpected source, or maybe it just comes in from your consciousness, from your higher mind. Whatever it is, you're likely going to get some kind of information that helps you put something to bed, for better or for worse, right? But one thing is certain, when it's Mercury and Uranus, it definitely involves a little bit of a shakeup. Communication challenges on the positive side could definitely be resolved. But again, more than likely in an unexpected manner. Then the moon in Sagittarius will square off with Neptune in Pisces, and this can definitely produce a foggy feeling. And that fog will lift a bit as we get to the 25th and the moon moves into Capricorn. Moon in Capricorn has no time for nonsense. It's like, I don't care, cold as ice, moving forward, these are the facts. So we need a little bit of that as we get toward the end of this week with all the Pisces energy that is saturating us. We need that dose of Capricorn reality. It will carry us into the 26th, which I kind of feel like is, I'm gonna say maybe some smoother sailing, not too many waves. The sun and the moon are making a nice aspect. The moon is trining Uranus, and so again, it's a trine, which, yes, okay, it's Uranus, but, maybe the weather's a little wonky that day, but for the most part, I think emotionally it can feel a little more interesting. And then the moon will meet up with Jupiter in an expansive, helpful, hopeful aspect. So again, all in all, 25th and 26th could be more calm days emotionally, but weather-wise, maybe not. And as we get to end off the week, Friday into Saturday, the 26th and the 27th, Mars, Pluto, and Venus are going to meet up. And this produces fireworks. Now, Mars and Venus and Pluto are all in the sign of Capricorn, as is the moon at this point. And I'm going to include goddess asteroid Vesta, which is all about the home and the hearth and what we burn for and what we're passionate about, because they're all moving very closely together, this pack. And so this again pulls emphasis on, what do I really want? What do I really need? Maybe I'm not good here anymore. Maybe I'm not comfortable here anymore. And you will be seeking to change that, because we're dealing with Capricorn energy, and Capricorn energy wants us to structurize or restructure that which is not standing firm any longer, regardless of what it is, whether it's a relationship, and we're dealing with Venus and Mars and Pluto, so it might be, whether we're dealing with issues of power and control outside of us, okay, let's think about what else is going on, very possible. This is more of a contentious energy, but it does help us to get real and to get straight on what we want personally, and of course, collectively, what we would like to see, but maybe not necessarily able to control, but there's still going to be some reveals here about what could potentially be coming for us and what that looks like for us personally. So expect some deep insights, some deep, profound insights by the end of this week about what is and is not working for you, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And remember, we are under Pisces season. It's a much more sensitive time. So if you are feeling more emotional, this is likely why. Check on anyone in your life that you know is struggling with depression or addiction issues, because Pisces energy by itself tends to expand, because remember, Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter expands things. On the positive side, it expands hope and faith and intuition and the divine, psychic ability and all that good stuff. But on the shadow side, Jupiter and Pisces could expand escapism, addictions, so we want to watch that. If we are aware, if it's us, we want to reach out to those that can help us if we're feeling that under this energy. We're also dealing with Neptune in Pisces. Remember, Neptune also rules Pisces, and Neptune speaks to, on the shadow side, again, addictions and not being clear on things and deceit and disillusion. So we want to watch for that as well. So if you know of anyone in your life that you think might be struggling, or if you yourself are struggling, reach out. You're not alone. There's always going to be someone or someones that will hear you and be there for you. The positive side to all this Pisces is hope. So let's remember to maintain our hope and our faith and our belief in something much bigger than what is here in front of us, because there is something much bigger than what is here in front of us. And I hope that you're able to tap into that in the moments of distress and uncertainty, which there'll be plenty of, but at the same time, there's going to be moments of really nice sweetness mixed in to the mix. Now, I'm going to pull a card for the week ahead. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to read a quote that I think describes this week perfectly. Right before we move to a new higher frequency, there is always a tower moment to remove everything and everyone whose vibrations are not a match to where we are going. If a lot is crumbling right now, you are making the space for more light to enter. Trust this. I literally just came across that on Instagram or something about an hour ago, and it's fresh in my mind. And as we're talking, I went to go pull the cards, and I'm like, no, I like that quote. So perfect timing. But the Tower is also a tarot card. So the Tower speaks to that total deconstruction to reconstruct. And I feel like this is the time that we're under on every single level. So take really good care of yourselves. Sign up for my newsletter, lisasalvatore.com. I blog about a lot of things that I don't necessarily do videos on, and vice versa. And yeah, if there's anything, you know, that you want to hear more about or would like me to do a video on or hold a Zoom, a workshop or anything like that, comment below, or if you're not comfortable doing it publicly, feel free to email me, lisa@lisasalvatore.com. I do read everything and I try to respond as quickly as I can and as thoughtfully as I can. So keep that in mind if you don't hear back from me right away. I don't like to respond when I can't be thoughtful about it. Take really good care of yourselves. Bye.